Hey guys, back with another Maplestory video here. This time, I'm doing a little reaction video to this world's first Lotus run, the first clear. First off, shout out to these guys. These A1 players were amazing. Watched this video a ton of times. A lot of respect to them. I know they've been grinding really hard, so check out their video if you haven't already. I'm sure you have, but this is really, really impressive, and I really appreciate them kind of sharing their clear run with us, and even this Bishop talking kind of in Discord, answering a lot of questions, strategies, tips, and things. So we learned a lot. I learned a lot. Appreciate them. Congrats to them. Thank you so much. So right off the bat, one of the first things that I noticed was that they popped Benediction just on pet off a cooldown. He talked about a little bit in general Discord chat, how they have it up right at the beginning for their final damage buff that it gives, but also it's up right at that 3-minute mark when they're about to clear the end of phase 1. So when the speed picks up to around 3 times the speed, normal speed, it's right up there, perfect timing. And that's actually something very different than what we did. We saved ours for kind of oh shit moments later on, kind of 1 minute plus 2 minutes. We have 2 bishops, so we tried to optimize them for the perfect time. And so this is something we're definitely going to implement into our run, using our 2 bishops benedictions back to back right off the bat, offensively, get our burst up, get our damage up, to sort of get to this place right here where 75 seconds in, we are getting them down to 50%. And this just allows us, 90 seconds, 100 seconds of time where we just have to survive bombs, clear bombs, and then our benedictions will be back up at that 3-minute mark, and we have to finish it off by then. And so back to kind of noticing what they've done differently compared to us. They're obviously using 1 bishop, that extra DPSer, that phantom. They have 2 phantoms, so obviously it can play support, it can do DPS to help out with TLs, reses, whatever it needs. But you can see kind of 2 minutes in, they're doing insane damage. And it seems like from our point of view, a lot of talking points as well when people are talking about clearing this overall, you have to clear phase 1 in about 3.5 4 minutes. You have to get to phase 3 as quickly as possible, right? Ideally 5 minutes plus in, just because there's a lot of factors in phase 3 with RNG, threat RNG, purple orb RNG. But in phase 1, it seems like they're really going offensive, kind of a little bit of aggro, understanding that if they don't clear phase 1 as quickly as possible, they're gonna run out of time towards the end, no matter how much DPS they have. So that's kind of one thing that we're gonna focus on now in our runs. Our DPM, our boss DPM can use a lot of work. I think we have enough DPS to clear the bombs. Now we just have to focus on clearing phase 1 as quickly as possible within that certain time frame. We're close to 5 minutes. And I think we can definitely get to around that 4:30, even 4-minute mark with a few changes as well. We were staggering our cooldowns to help with bombs, but I think we're going to just straight up burst it off the bat, pair it with our 2 times benediction for that final damage buff, just try to out DPS it, go pretty aggro so that we can clear it as quickly as possible, so that we can just get on to phase 2 and phase 3. And you can see right here, 3.5 minutes in, it took them to clear phase 1. Insane time. That obviously allows them a lot of time, a lot of flexibility for this phase 2. And from what I've heard, we've never got to phase 2. What I've watched and learned is that phase 2 is pretty straightforward. You can see they have benediction up still, because that's a good time. They can burst it down right here. They're chunking it down really fast, throwing hits, and it's basically hard Magnus with a lot more stuff going on, a lot more orbs, a lot more things flying around you have to dodge. So I'm excited for it. I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing it, but it looks like phase 2, they're gonna clear it pretty fast. They're well within 5-minute range. So that's something that I heard, that once you clear phase 1, phase 2 is pretty straightforward. We can definitely get to phase 3. Just depends how much time we're gonna have left. And right here, took them a minute, insanely fast, but they also don't take any deaths, right? A lot of their deaths, pretty much all of their deaths, are in phase 1, and these are just experience, just dodging stuff and min-maxing your DPS. So 5.5 minutes to clear phase 3, that seems like as much time. Obviously they needed every single second of it, so it seems like that is kind of that point where if you don't get there, you're not going to clear. You might as well restart over again. So phase 3 right here, just on crack. Phase 2 on crack for 5.5 minutes. Things flying around. They got fireballs going around. They're getting knocked back from Lotus. They got to, dodge things coming all over the place. Just looks like a lot of fun. And this is kind of the phase that it seems like, hearing from a lot of people that are getting to this phase 3, this right here is kind of the RNG besides threatened that can make or break a run, right? That phase, Lotus is invulnerable, can't do any boss DPM. So if he keeps going, he keeps going into that phase, then it's just gonna, valuable time is being wasted where we can't do damage to the boss, and every second counts, right? So you see there are about little over 4 minutes left in the fight. They're doing pretty good damage, and it looks like, just dodge all the crap. That's pretty much what it is. Just a lot of stuff going on. You surviving on your own. There's not much anyone else can do to help you, and it's basically single target DPM check. And what we'll see and look at in the DPM charts at the end, when it's boss damage versus overall damage, this is where that single target, those classes really shine. And you'll see the DB, the Night Lord, even the Phantom up there were doing insane single target DPS. And the Evan was mainly there, like overall damage, he did a ton, but in boss damage, he was second page overall. So very interesting to see, even a very strong class like the Evan. Its main role was the bombs in phase 1. So kind of things that we were thinking about is just team comp, right? We're not going to be able to mimic exactly what they do, but the thought process, the philosophy is still the same. We need single target DPS. We are going to use our split shades. We are going to need our DBs, our Nightwalkers, just our big single target damagers to be kind of carrying us through this, and having as minimal support skills as support classes as possible, which is where having one bishop versus 2 is going to be a huge part in our strategy moving forward once we get to this phase. But right now we're still focusing on phase 1, just getting through that, and then maybe changing things up as we go. But 2.5 minutes left. I'm sure they're very stressed. I'm sure they're very anxious, excited. They believe they can get it, right? Just finishing the job, hoping for good RNG, but also just surviving, min-maxing DPS. And, I'm excited for them just watching this. I can't even imagine what they're going through on voice chat. I'm sure they're feeling this is the one after so many chances and so many runs. So I'm really, again, excited and congratulating this team for all that they've done. I think it's an amazing accomplishment, especially, experiencing it firsthand and knowing how much other teams are grinding. They've been trying and coming super close and just running out of time or whatnot. It's just huge props to them. Thank you again for sharing this point of view, your clear time, and kind of talking through your strategy in Discord. It's going to help me, my team. I'm sure a lot of teams are going to start clearing now, trying new things, and it's really kind of all thanks to these guys right here. And as this last 45 seconds of this fight is winding down, I'm sure they're freaking out about this invulnerability, this purple ores phase. Can't do any damage, just wasted seconds ticking away. That's like 10 seconds it looked like. That's just brutal if that's one of the reasons why people fail. And it seems like that's a huge talking point from all the teams that are close to clearing. But they got through it with actually quite a bit of time to spare. Congrats to them again. And we're going to check out the DPM charts after this. You guys probably know that DB was cranking. Overall DPS, boss damage, it looked like it was, don't even know what those things are right there that they got as drops, but congrats to them. Shout out to them. You have to watch this video, subscribe, like their video, their main video. I'll tag it in the comments. But you can see right here that the DPM charts overall versus boss DPM, that Night Lord, that Phantom really jumped up to the top of the charts and did most of that, did a lot of heavy lifting in single target besides that top DB over there. Really excited to try it out, test it out, see how far we can get just learning from these guys. But Much appreciated. Congrats again to them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.